It's time for a brand new Screen Team right here on Today's Talk 930 KWOC. And the show is being brought to you by Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us, Fearless Social, parent company of internet marketing products including Group Command, ScriptDial, and Fearless Deadlines, and Poplar Bluff Drywall, interior and exterior finishing. Give them a call at 714-3127. Poplar Bluff Drywall, we rock. And we have a full house in the studio this evening. We've got Stacy. Stacy, first off, how are you doing?
I'm great.
It's good to see you. I'm loving the Cardinal shirt you got going on there, supporting the home team. Why don't you introduce who else is on the panel here tonight?
Oh, this is old Dougie Doug, and the legendary Sabrina J.
I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but she's got the old Sabrina J haircut going on.
I did notice that.
She's taking it back.
I'm taking it back.
Retro.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about some of the movies we're going to be reviewing tonight, Stacy. What do we have on store for the listeners this evening?
We have Mississippi Burning, Selma, and San Andreas.
All right. Well, let's get right into it, man. Mississippi Burning is our first choice this evening. And this movie was released back in the late 1980s, 1988 to be exact. It's an American thriller film directed by Alan Parker. And the film focuses on the professional relationship between two FBI agents, portrayed by Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe, who investigate the murders of three civil rights workers in Mississippi, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where all the fun begins. This movie is pretty intense. It's got some comedy in there as well, which is kind of weird
Thank
for the
you, Gene Hackman.
Yeah. So first off, let's talk about why did you want to choose this particular movie?
Well, it seems like history's trying to
repeat itself
these days, and so maybe we should just sort of remember what it really was like, and how maybe things aren't as
peachy.
Maybe things aren't as rough as people would lead you to believe, as far as human rights and such. So, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of seems to fit the time, and with Selma coming out, and let's go for a theme.
Let's go for a theme, and the theme is, I guess, civil rights. Yeah. And we're in the deep South in the mid 1960s, and you have a divide between the whites and the blacks, and you have the murder of these three civil rights workers, and Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe come to investigate it, and they're not welcomed.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They're basically told, we don't want you here, we don't like you. It's best to pack bags as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Get out of town and leave our way of living alone.
You're just going to make things worse if you come in, because they brought the media, they brought tons of federal agents. They
brought the sailors for crying out loud.
They did bring the sailors.
Right.
Yeah. Who else better to sweep the swamps than the sailors, really?
That's kind of what I thought.
So this is an interesting film. Sabrina, what were your thoughts on? Have you seen this film before, Sabrina?
I had seen it before, but it had been a very long time. But I like it.
Okay.
Oh,
what are your thoughts on it?
I didn't give you two answers. I like the direction that it was taken. It was more like a thriller than an in-your-face documentary, historical.
Right.
You guys really messed up, just kind of thing. And I like walking away from a movie feeling like I wasn't personally responsible for the actions of people,
yeah.
But just enough to make me realize there's always room for a fault. Mm-hmm. And
Willem Dafoe even says that in the movie.
Yeah. I liked it a lot, actually. It is a really good movie as far as the conflict that it approaches, the conflicts that are created from your presence in the midst of a conflict that is what is considered local. Mm-hmm. And you see the conflict not only between the races of people, but more importantly, the elements of justice.
Yeah.
There's the judge who lets these guys off because he feels like they were heavily influenced by outsiders, and And that's the whole premise of this conflict is we got ours taken care of, you take care of yours. When the FBI's approach to it is, you're part of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got the the mayor who just turns a blind eye at everything. It's like, it's just the way things are. You, like you just said, we've got this. You go on and take care of whatever it is you think you got to take care of, and it's a lot of bad things happen. A lot of bad things.
And the thing is that the 3 boys that were killed, they weren't from there.
Right.
And so that's what drew the FBI's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They were 2 white boys and 1 African-American boy at the time. That's not what they were called, but...
Yeah. I kind of liked how also there was Willem Dafoe's way, by the book, straightforward, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then there was Gene
Hackman's way.
Who was originally from Mississippi.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
He understood.
He was a sheriff in a small town, and he knew how that stuff kind of worked. And I'm thinking, it's okay to rough up the bad guys. I don't care. If you got to get justice and you have to rough up the bad guys, let's do it.
Shake the bush every now and then.
They need to be afraid of the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly right.
And it really bugged me, and that's not really what I said when it happened, but just the way people treated other people.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine treating someone like that just because they look different than I do.
Yeah,
I can't fathom that.
It's beyond our years, but it's not that far away from our yards.
No,
exactly.
It's not.
Exactly. I
I
mean, if you're stupid, I might treat you a little differently, but not just because you look different than I do.
Right.
That's not going to work.
I thought some of the, fake TV interviews were kind of interesting. How they were interviewing some of the Mississippians, and what do you think of this or whatever?
They
and
didn't
some of the
hesitate
responses
to tell the world what they thought,
there was
because
no
they
PC there.
genuinely no, there wasn't, and they genuinely did not see anything wrong with the way they felt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and a lot of the smaller, more protected communities like that held those thoughts and beliefs way past their deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because they didn't have the internet, they didn't have the traveling, they didn't have the access to the rest of the world and the information that's out there and the opinions of the rest of the world that's out there. So it was easy for that kind of a complex
mindset there,
to stick, and well beyond its welcome.
I did also like how in the background you had Jack Buck calling the baseball game.
I know, yeah.
And they said, who's winning? The Cardinals are winning.
Yeah.
It's because, at least there was that. At least they were smart enough to realize to like the Cardinals.
Well, that's true. I mean, back at that time, I don't want to get off subject a little bit, but back at that time, the Cardinals. I mean, because there wasn't that many West Coast teams, so the St. Louis Cardinals were about as West Coast as you could get. So I mean, everybody listened to them, man. So that was very, very cool. I like this movie a lot. I really did. I actually like it better than the movie we're going to be talking about here in just a few minutes, Selma. And I think it was just because this one had a little bit more comedy in it, even though it's not supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman's character is memorable.
I don't know that I'd call it comedy so much as smart aleckness.
Oh yeah, just
relief.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that Gene Hackman would go to these what we perceived as the bad guys, and he would just go up to them, joking around, but in a smart aleck way, like. In a Gene
Hackman way.
Yeah. Like making fun of them, but they don't really know it. They're not in on the joke kind of thing. So I thought that was really clever, and it was well acted. Willem Dafoe and Gene Hackman, 2 great actors, and Frances McDormand was in it as well. I didn't know she had done anything before Fargo.
So was Merle Dixon. You might remember, him from The Walking Dead. Merle, one-armed Merle, Daryl's brother.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
He's a great actor too.
The kid that he went on to play the son on the Urkel show.
Yeah, Family Matters.
Yes,
yep,
he was in it as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
So you can kind of once you realize that, then you're just sort of like you hate those bad people even more.
That's right.
That's
right. It's called Mississippi Burning, and you can check it out on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review another civil rights movie. It's called Selma. It's brand new to DVD, and we'll review it next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.